of getting out there. Drees is able to make the catch, but Suggs kept him from getting too much.
So now a big third down opportunity for Baltimore defensively. Manning with time. Short, complete. First down yardage. Jacob Tamme, the tight end, to midfield.
Well, that started with tremendous pass protection by the Broncos. Peyton Manning went from option 1, 2 to 3 and then started going through his progression again. And he finally just flicks it a little low, but Tamme went down and got it.
Manning changing things up at the line. Moreno for a couple. Nice catch by Jacob Tamme.
You know, it really was. You know, Peyton had to kind of throw it at sidearm, and it was a little low, and it was a little behind Jacob Tamme. And that's, you know, it may look easy, but that's a difficult catch to make. What's also difficult is on the Baltimore defenders trying to cover somebody for that long a period of time.
Manning on 2nd and 8. Sideline. And what a catch made. Close to the 35-yard line. Eric Decker went up and got it.
Well, Eric Decker and Demaryius Thomas are two huge receivers. And when you got this kind of a height advantage, when you're 6'3" and you can elevate, and there's a good blitz pickup by Knowshon Moreno. After executing the fake and the play action, he finished his job by picking up the blitz.
The rookie Ronnie Hillman is in the backfield now, out on a pass pattern, with Manning going deep, and that is incomplete. Fans want a flag. Demaryius Thomas being covered by Cary Williams.
And the officiating crew deciding that that's incidental contact, that their legs. I think the important thing here for Cary Williams is that you know, that was unintentional. He wasn't playing the ball. If he was playing the ball, you give him the benefit of the doubt. That should have drawn a flag.
Little pass to Hillman out of the backfield. Hillman clocked at about the 32, and we have a penalty marker in the backfield.
You know, that kind of contact between Williams, you know, that should have drawn a flag. If he was back, turned around, his head looking at the football, then that stuff just happens.
Well, this penalty is going against the Baltimore Ravens, and clearly the weather has gotten to Bill Vinovich's microphone.
That's illegal use of hands. Oh, right there. I think they're going to call it on Terrence Cody, the nose tackle, who went right to the throat of center Dan Koppen.
That qualifies as illegal use of hands.
Pretty good illustration of how it can get sometimes at the line of scrimmage.
First down, Denver from the 31. The give is to Moreno. Inside the 30 to about the 28-yard line, and Ray Lewis in on the tackle.
Well, Moreno's still fighting. He's acting like his knee never touched the ground. Let's take a look at the great Ray Lewis in the middle. And again, look how he just moves around the block of Orlando Franklin. He jumped around Franklin, and Franklin barely got a finger on Ray Lewis, and then Ray gets in on the tackle.
I loved when you asked Ray last night if he was going to go with the bare arms, and he looked at you like you were nuts.
Look at the whole team. The Ravens team is bare arm just about.
Manning, sideline, going up this time, and making the grab is Demaryius Thomas. And that is another Denver first down.
And again, he's being covered by Cary Williams. And Cary Williams is a nice-sized corner at 6'1". But when Thomas elevates like this, look where he's going up to get that football. No way could Cary Williams go up and play the ball. He's got to play the receiver. And in that case, there's just nothing you can do about it.
Rita!
Broncos into the red zone. First down at the Baltimore 17. 9, and Thomas comes down with it, and now it's ruled incomplete.
They're saying that it hit the ground. This is going to give us a good look at it, right on the hands of Demaryius Thomas, and he's struggling to put the football away, and he does not, and it hits the ground. Bernard Pollard gets in there and forces him to not be able to maintain possession. Peyton goes, hey, I delivered a good pass.
Bernard Pollard has separated his share of receivers from football.
Keep in mind, it's 15 degrees out there. That football is really hard.
This is Moreno, and Moreno stacked up at the 15-yard line. Haloti Ngata.
Haloti Ngata, when we asked John Harbaugh about him, said, well, he's maybe playing at about 80%. Right there, great job of shedding the block of Chris Cooper, the right guard. And I'm talking about shedding the block. He just threw Cooper off to the side. When Ngata is healthy, he's almost unblockable. And even at 80%, he still goes to another Pro Bowl, his 4th. Bad knee, bad shoulder, but he keeps playing.
Manning on 3rd and 8. With time, going corner of the end zone. It is caught for the touchdown. Brandon Stokely.
The window of opportunity to drop that football into Brandon Stokely was about 2 feet wide. It's going to be interesting. Did he get both feet down? Corey Graham working on it. Take a look at this concentration by Stokely. The knee is down. He maintains solid possession of the football after he hits the ground. Brilliant throw and reception by Brandon Stokely. First of all, look at this pass from Manning. But that, the knee is down. The ball doesn't wiggle a bit after he hits the ground out of bounds. What a beautiful piece of work by 18 and 14.
Extra point is good, and with that touchdown pass, Peyton Manning ties Terry Bradshaw for 6th all-time, his 30th postseason touchdown. We're tied at 14.
Okay, guys, this kick is for the win. Labels out.
Here we go.
Wait, what?
Our proximity to the field creates a parallel connection between the bottle and the ball.
The outward-facing label simulates a smoother contact surface for the kicker.
It's like magic, only real.
Really?
Yeah.
Bud Light, for the fans who do whatever it takes.
My insurance rates are probably going to double.
But Dad, you've got...
Allstate. With accident forgiveness, they guarantee your rates won't go up just because of an accident.
Smart kid.
Indeed. Are you in good hands?
This is the age of knowing what you're made of. Why let erectile dysfunction get in your way? Talk to your doctor about Viagra. Ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain. It may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. This is the age of taking action. Viagra. Talk to your doctor.
So, you say men are superior drivers?
Yeah.
Then how do I get this?
Safe driving bonus check. Every 6 months without an accident, Allstate sends a check. Silence. Are you in good hands?
TV's #1 show, NCIS. Tuesday, only CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Pizza Hut's $10 any pizza deal. Only at your Pizza Hut. Make it great. And by the Bud Light Sports Fan app. Download the app today.
Hey, for complete NFL playoff coverage, including everything you need to know from the divisional playoffs all the way through Super Bowl 47, visit cbssports.com/NFL. Nothing like a little give and take to start the divisional playoffs, huh?
Well, as you and I were talking, it's 14's wild. The score is 14-14, and the temperature is 14. I'll say this, we were worried about how much was the passing game going to be affected today because of the extremely low temperatures, and the answer is, well, so far, apparently not very much. From Flacco throwing deep bombs, Peyton Manning working the intermediate stuff. Looks good.
Jacoby Jones hoping to return this one, and he will. Brought down at about the 17-yard line. Joe Flacco back to work when we come back to Denver. 3:58 to play in the first.
It takes all kinds of good to make a family. At New York Life, everything we do is to help you keep good going.
Pizza Hut's $10 any pizza deal is back. Any pizza, topping, sizes. $10. The meat lover's pizza.
$10. Delivery, dine in, or carry.
Out of this world pizza.
Pizza Hut's $10 any pizza deal is back.
Now that's how you make it great.
Why do I like this new Buick Verano? It lets me audible.
OnStar, how can I help you?
Check, 287, orange barrel, reroute.
Sending new route now, Mr. Manning.
My bad. Phone call, Papa Bear, hut.
Hey, Peyton, just fired up the grill. Better hurry.
Tune XM60 Outlaw. If you don't know the innovative Verano, then you don't know Buick. It's like being on the field, just more luxury.
Companies used to view us as demographics because they couldn't see what made people different. Today, retailers from the US to Japan are using analytics to find insight in social chatter, reviews, and sales transactions, helping some companies increase online revenue up to 50% by offering customers an experience as unique as they are. That's what I'm working on. I'm an IBMer. Let's build a smarter planet.
What's more dangerous than the mob? The women of Vegas.
Hi, Ralph.
Hi there, Barb. The one that got away.
More like the one that left my dad high and dry.
And the daughter of a mob boss.
I love your daughter. What?
New Vegas, CBS Tuesday.
You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 47.
And a look at the scene here in Denver with our nationwide insurance action cam as the Ravens get set from their own 17-yard line. 3:58 to play in a 14-14 game, first quarter. Ray Rice. No running room at all on the left side.
Well, Ray Rice is going to follow his fullback, Vontae Leach, who tries to get around the corner, and he does. He gets on Wesley Woodyard and kicks him to the outside, but there was just too much pursuit. And here's this new offensive line of the Ravens. They unveiled it last week, and I think it's a great move. These are the best 5 players.
Flacco. Complete across the 20 is Ed Dixon. Out across the 25 to the 27, where Von Miller makes the stop.
Well, one of the things Joe Flacco told us was that we're going to have to complete a lot of shorter passes against Denver and hope that our guys get some good yards after the catch. He was under a lot of pressure in that first game back on December the 16th, and they figured they're going to have to get rid of the ball quickly in this game. But that's a good way to buy yourself a little time. Move the pocket left to right. Buy your quarterback a good look at the field and buy him some extra time.
New set of downs for the Ravens at the 28. End around. Here comes Torrey Smith. And Smith run out of bounds at about the 28-yard line, right about the line of scrimmage by Wesley Woodyard.
Well, end arounds either end up being a home run or not much of anything. And this fell into the not much of anything category. And Wesley Woodyard shows the great range and speed that has made him Denver's leading tackler. He covers a lot of ground in a hurry, and I think he surprised Torrey Smith with how quickly he got there and the ferocity with which he arrived.
Wesley Woodyard, who wears number 52 because he's crazy about Ray Lewis and the way he has played the game. Flacco, penalty marker is down.
But Denver was offside.
Ray Rice with the catch and is knocked down.
Yeah, Denver was offsides. I think they were in the neutral zone. Elvis Dumervil. A good hard snap count by Joe Flacco. Right there at the bottom. That's all it takes. His left hand is in the neutral zone. A good hard snap count by Joe Flacco got Dumervil. A reflective moment for Ray Lewis.
Second and 5. Flacco on the money. Close to midfield is Dennis Pitta. And that's a Baltimore first down.
Well, Dennis Pitta had a huge game against Denver in the first game and back in December. And if the Denver defense has an Achilles heel, it is sometimes defending the tight end. All season long, opponents' tight ends have been finding some soft spots against this Denver defense, which is the second best defense yardage-wise in the NFL.
This is Rice. And Rice wrapped up as he crossed the line of scrimmage by Mitch Unrein, the second-year D lineman out of Wyoming. Dennis Pitta had 2 touchdown catches against Denver a month ago in a game that had been well decided.
Yeah. And the air is a little thin up here, and the Ravens are the ones trying to acclimate. It's a question of how much oxygen can you get in your lungs. It's also you got to really fight to not become dehydrated. So getting lots of fluids is a big part of the deal today.
Flacco, quick pitch. That one is complete inside the 45 to the 43 is Dixon.
Well, I like the game that Jim Caldwell is calling so far for the Ravens. A little bit of everything, really trying to keep this really fast Denver defense in check and make them honor their responsibilities before they start running to the football. A lot of misdirection, Flacco rolling out. The end around didn't work, but it serves notice that we're gonna try to break contain different ways.
The first quarter has been a dandy here in Denver. Hard to believe we have 3 more to play. 14-14. We're coming back to Denver after this. You're watching the NFL on CBS, the home of Super Bowl 47.
Help kick off the Pepsi Super Bowl 47 halftime show. Submit your picture, and millions of people could see you welcome Beyonce in the world's first crowdsourced halftime intro. Upload your photo at Pepsi.com.
Right here at Table 19, a secret crush turned out to be a mutual attraction. And the Westgate cousins went old school to decide who pays the check. All over delicious entrees, like our new Parmesan crusted steak from our $20 dinner for 2. Chili's, more life happens here.
In the Nation, we don't do things halfway. Add brand new belongings from Nationwide Insurance, and we won't just give you partial value if things in your home are stolen or destroyed. We'll replace your favorite things with brand new versions. We put members first.
Bye, kids.
Because we don't have shareholders. Join the Nation, that's as good as new.
Nationwide is on your side.
It started with a phone call. She said, I haven't done my taxes for a few years. What's a few? She said, I think it's 8. She showed up with 4 file boxes of paperwork. Here, take my stuff and figure it out. I will do that for you. It's a mental challenge, it's a puzzle, but getting you the maximum refund, that's what I'm here for. Bring it on.
CBS Monday.
This was a murder staged to look like a robbery.
To solve this case, America will vote for an ending live.
Well, this is definitely a first.
3 suspects, 3 endings.
Five-0, hands in the air.
1 killer choice.
We just found out who killed Cutler. Who?
New Hawaii 5-0. Your vote, your ending. Monday, only CBS.
Any call to duty has to be measured against what you truly believe you're ready for. It's your duty to get back here in one piece.
What if you could stop crime before it happens? Their machine can.
Your job is to protect everyone. The numbers never stop coming. The machine never stops working.
If there is a person in danger,
we'll find a way to be there in time.
An action-packed first quarter. 14-14 as we begin the second. Baltimore, 3rd and 2 at the Denver 43. Bernard Pierce in the backfield with Flacco. Going to go deep down the sideline, has a man open. It is ruled incomplete. Torrey Smith.
Well, I think even if he'd have held on to the football, he was out of bounds. I don't think when he comes down with this football, yeah, that his left foot wasn't able to get down in bounds. Well, it was close. It was really close, but he lost possession of the football anyway. That would have made it very interesting if they'd have taken a close look at that.
Jim Leonard is deep for the Broncos. And that is a very short punt by Sam Cook, but it gets a Baltimore roll. And it's going to roll inside the 10 to about the 7. You can welcome Beyonce to the Pepsi Super Bowl halftime show on CBS. Submit your photo at cbssports.com/Pepsi for a chance to be seen by millions. Your photo is on the way, is it not, Dan?
Absolutely. That'll be some show.
So Manning and the Broncos start from their own 7-yard line.
5 DBs in for Baltimore as they go nickel, as Manning goes spread.
This is Moreno. Moreno running along the right side, breaking tackles, and a penalty marker flies as he makes it out to about the 15 where Ray Lewis brings him down.
Well, we might have had a face mask. And again, Peyton Manning very comfortable running the football against the nickel with an extra DB in the game.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense number 50. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Well, you can see that's Donnell Ellerbe that gets a hand that grazes the face mask. Here's Ray Lewis working in the middle of the field. And Ray covers a lot of ground. He has to get over there to make the tackle. So that was really not much of a face mask, but he did grab it. You got to call it.
Moreno to the 34 and another marker in the backfield.
Holding. Offense number 73. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's Chris Cooper, the right guard. Chris Cooper has missed the last 4 games with a bad left ankle, and they're happy to get him back.
Well, and he's had a hard luck season. Remember, he missed the first 4 games of the year with a forearm injury that he got in training camp. So Chris Cooper just having trouble staying healthy. But when he is healthy and in the lineup, the offensive line play of the Broncos is just vastly different, much improved.
Manning now with a 1st and 20. Crossing pattern, he's got it across the 20 to the 22, Brandon Stokely.
And Ray Lewis just sitting there waiting for that short crossing pattern, not fooled one bit. That's Ray's zone. He's just going to sit there, wait for somebody to show up. And he IDs Stokely running about a 3-yard pattern. That's fish in a barrel.
As you alluded to at the start of the day, Dan, this is not the same defense that Peyton Manning faced a month ago in Baltimore. Another crossing pattern. This one complete to Dreesen. And Dreesen out to close to the 30-yard line. It'll be about a 3rd and 10.
Well, at least he gets back to, you don't want to say 3rd and 10 is manageable, but at least he picks up, and a good blitz pickup that time by Jacob Hester. He picks up Donnell Ellerbe coming in. after the ball fake. The ball fake is only part of your responsibility. And Jacob Hester, who they didn't sign until late November, has been a really nice addition.
Manning again with time and throwing, and incomplete, intended for Stokely.
Well, Corey Graham was the Baltimore defender and forced Peyton Manning to go low with that throw because of the coverage. Again, there's Ray Lewis. He runs right up the field and ends up destroying Terrell Suggs in the process. Well, it ended well for Baltimore with a punt.
Jacoby Jones. And now shifting over and making the grab is Tandem Doss, and Doss is brought down almost immediately at the 19-yard line.
By Josh Bynes, his own player.
12:47 to play in the first half. 14-14. You guys know each other.
What car company offers you 7 models with an EPA-rated 40 miles per gallon highway or better? Ford, America's freshest lineup, with exclusive EcoBoost technology that delivers efficient power. Ford has you covered at the pump. And now we'll cover your first 3 payments on select vehicles. No wonder Ford is America's best-selling brand. Now get a Ford Focus and we'll cover your first 3 payments, plus you'll get $1,000 cash back. Or get 0% financing for 60 months.
What are you doing?
Nothing.
Are you stealing our daughter's school supplies and taking them to work?
No, I'm just looking for my stapler and this thing.
I save money by using FedEx Ground and buy my own supplies.
It's a great idea. I'm gonna go do. We got clients in today.
Save on ground shipping at FedEx Office.
Using cloud computing and mobile technology, Verizon innovators have developed a projective display for firefighters, allowing them to see through anything. Because the world's biggest challenges deserve even bigger solutions. Powerful answers. Verizon.
CBS Thursday.
Can you tell us where you were last night? I was alone.
That means no.
New Holmes.
I dare say you're getting the hang of deductive reasoning, Watson.
New Watson.
Are you trying to take credit for the fact that I saved your life?
New York.
You were so full of it.
Is it something I said?
TV's #1 new show, Elementary, CBS Thursday.
Look at what the Ravens have done on offense as they get set to begin at their own 19-yard line. Dan, I'm curious, in weather like this when you played, did you cover up your arms?
No.
Show off.
Well, I might have later on in my career. I might have whipped out one time up in Minnesota. I can't lie.
Flacco to throw. Got his man across the 30, and that's Dixon, the tight end. Hey, for all of your exclusive Super Bowl 47 event info, offers, news, and more, text Super Bowl to 69635 or go to NFL.com/Super Bowl. Joe Flacco throwing the ball very well so far today.
And part of the reason, and a big part of the reason, is the fact that McKinney, Assembly, Burke, Yonda, and Orr are doing a really good job against this big-time Denver pass rush. I tell you, Brian McKinney finally got himself in shape, worked his way into a job, and this offensive line, so far in this game, off to a good start.
This is Bernard Pierce.